Hi everyone, Amanda Saladin here from Love Life Yarn, and if you have ever struggled to read crochet patterns, then this video is for you. This is part one of a video series where we're going to delve really deeply into how to read crochet patterns. I know many people rely on videos and struggle to read all the abbreviations and the punctuation and all the things that comes along with reading crochet patterns. So we're going to dive into each topic in detail and we're going to break it down into steps that you can understand. Today's video is how to identify a well-written pattern. That way, before you even begin, you have a good idea if this is a pattern that you can follow or not. Before we jump in, I do want to mention there is a workbook option. If you want more help diving into all these topics, you can get this, the digital version. I had mine printed at printme1.com. I'll leave a link below to both the workbook and the print. It's optional. You can go through these videos without it, but also it has exercises and interactive quizzes and all kinds of things like that that can give you more help if you really want to dive in super deeply and learn how to read crochet patterns. So are you ready? This video was originally part of a 5-day workshop where it would be sent one video per email a day. And now I'm putting it here on YouTube for everybody to enjoy because I really want to dive in. I love teaching, want you guys to be successful. And so we're gonna jump into the original video. I'll see you on the other side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to, I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to look at this pattern right here. This is the velvet teal sweater that's free on my blog, and I decided to go ahead and do this one as one we could look at, and then we'll get a couple other examples as well. And there are over 200 free patterns on my blog at love.life.yarn.com, so you can check those out, and we'll walk through some of them together. And so if you want more practice, more exercises, more videos, you can check out the workbook. But we're going to dive right in and I learned how to identify a well-written pattern right here in lesson 1. We have my PDF of the velvet teal sweater, and the first thing you want to do when looking at a pattern is kind of just look over it and make sure it even makes sense. So I'll just kind of scroll through this pattern. You can see a picture right there of it and everything. So I'm like, okay, it's got a little bit of special stitches and the pattern, like I said, if you're new, this may be a little overwhelming. We'll look at some simpler ones too, but you can just see it's basic things, single crochet, stuff like that. I'll talk about the different sizes and stuff as we go along in our lessons. Don't worry about that. Armhole shaping, and then the fronts. So you can kind of see back to front, armhole shaping, the lower body part, and the sleeves. So it's mostly, this is actually single crochet. So I'm like, okay, this is a sweater made with single crochet. So I've looked through it there. And for me, of course, since I've, well, not only because I designed it, but because I know a lot about crochet, it makes sense to me. So even if, as a more advanced crocheter, if I was evaluating this for something that, to see if I could do it, because I'm sure there are patterns out there that are outside of my realm of comfort, I still want to make sure it makes sense to me before I even begin and get all excited and get my yarn together and stuff like that. Okay, so I've looked through it. To me, I'm like, okay, it's single crochet stitches. I can handle this. And it seemed to be easy to read. What I would do with a pattern like this with different sizes is make sure I had a printed copy and I would mark my size in all of them. If it was just one size, I probably wouldn't worry about printing it off. So you want to look for photos so that you can kind of see what it's going to look like. You can see I've got one right here. It's an oversized sweater. You can see it has extra, extra ease right there. And even the armholes and stuff. And that's the way I like my sweaters. So it's got a picture of it there. And I don't put a whole lot of pictures in my patterns because this is the printable versions. There's more on the website because most people don't want to print a lot. So there's more to view on the website. But if it was like, let's say you're buying a pattern and it didn't have a free version on the website or anything, which is one good thing about if you want to buy a pattern and there's a free version, you can go online and check it out first, kind of make sure it's within your skill set before you buy it if you want to. So I have people that buy my ad-free PDFs from my patterns, but they do get to look at the pattern beforehand to see if it's something they even want to attempt. Okay, so look for photos, especially if you are buying a pattern that does not have a free version. Make sure that hopefully in the listing, if you're buying on Etsy or whatever, you'll have lots of photos of it. And maybe Obviously, you can't look at every single pattern on there, but just kind of think of what's in your skill set. Some of them, you can't view it until after you purchase it. So look for the photos. Also here, we're going to look for a skill level. And this one is easy. Okay, the only reason I didn't put beginner on this, which it really is just single crochet, is because the construction starts right here at the shoulder and then works its way down. And it can be, some people that haven't made a sweater before can find it a little confusing. So you start at the shoulder and work down, but it is easy because it's only single crochet. So look at that and see if that's something that, if it's intermediate and you're brand new, you might want to start with an easier pattern. If it's something that's an advanced or expert pattern, you better read through, make sure it's something that you really think you can tackle, because I would hate for you to get in there and start working on something and then get in the middle and get frustrated. I mean, you've wasted a lot of time. So that's something that I think about, or I haven't made from anyone else's pattern in a long time, but back when I did, I made sure that it was something I really thought that I could do. But I did plenty of times start it and not know and get frustrated. I've done that as well. All right, so we've got our skill level here. This is easy and it's single crochet, so I'm going to say I'm an advanced beginner and I feel comfortable tackling this pattern. And so you're going to look for your finished size. Now, this has many finished sizes here. Other patterns may just have 1 or 2. This one goes all the way from an extra small up to 3XL. So obviously there's a lot of sizes here with this particular pattern, and it tells you that there's a lot of positive ease recommended, and it's a size extra large on a model with a 40-inch bust, which is me. And so that right there, the extra large, has 46-inch bust, so I have 6 inches of ease. So this is a very loose, comfy sweater, and that's how I wanted it to fit. So it's got that. It's got gauge. So my gauge is listed right down here. Let me scoot down just a little bit. Right here, 12 stitches in 16 rows equals 4 inches in single crochet. And that is with this hook size right here. So that's we're going to talk about tomorrow with the a little bit more in detail of pattern anatomy, but the hook size is really just an idea of where to start. If you started this and you used K and you didn't get that gauge, you could go up or down. It's not like you have to use that particular hook, so just use whatever helps you get gauge. Okay, so after the finish size, it tells you what you need. So for here, you have your yarn. Look for materials. It might say materials and tools. Mine, I like to put what you'll need. It's got your yarn. And one thing I did not do on this one that I should have is the yarn weight. Since I've designed this, I now put them on every pattern so that people can substitute yarn a little bit easier if they need to. So this would be a super bulky yarn. So you've got how many yards of each you're going to need, and then your hook, or if you needed more than one hook, it would say that here. Notions yarn needle. Now keep in mind that you will need scissors. I don't see hardly any patterns doing them. I put it on there now, but I mean, obviously we need scissors to clip our ends and to break the yarn. So that is very helpful to have this kind of stuff here, but this one doesn't need a yarn needle or anything because we're not seaming anything, and so it's we do need yarn needle for just the little cuffs, but we don't need anything crazy. We don't need buttons, we don't need zippers, we don't need anything like that. But if you did, it would be right here under the Notions tab. Okay, and so that all helps you out, so you can kind of see. Like I said, we've seen that it shows what we need, and it shows. It's got notes here and special stitches, which we'll all look at tomorrow in the pattern anatomy, and then the pattern itself. So this is our first lesson. It's short and sweet because we just want to try to identify a pattern. So we looked at this particular example, but actually I will show you guys another example here. I've got a ton of, let's look at this. That's an old one. Try to find one that is just one size. Here, how about a water bottle holder? That'll be nice and easy, right? So this is one size. It's in, I call it Easy Crochet Water Bottle Holder, and it's also free on my blog. But this shows you what you'll need. And now you can see, since I've updated that worsted weight number 4 right there, I put the weight of the yarn, so if someone wanted to substitute. I've got my hook size, and this one I have a note that sometimes a size G is not always 4.0 millimeters, so it can be, I don't know why, but a couple of the sizes, companies can do different sizes on, so that was one I definitely put on there. Because you don't want it to, like, be too big and not fit your water bottle. A yarn needle and scissors. Like I said, I also add scissors now. It's got gauge, it's got finished size, and then if I gave it a once over, I can see that I've got my abbreviations, which is also something I do now. And I'm going through and like adding all this stuff to my old patterns, but 200 patterns is a lot to go through, so it's taken me a while. My special stitch is the back loop only. And then I've got some notes that my chain 3 or chain 4 counts as a stitch at the beginning, and this one chain 1 as well. And to join each round, that way you don't have to say join at the end of every single round, so make sure you look at the notes. And then you can see, we'll just check out, it's got double crochet there, okay, double crochet back loop only, the BLO, which sounds funny, back loop only, and we're changing colors in this one, so you can see that on there. Change to pink, I'm repeating. So this seems, you know, pretty simple. And then for this I use the thermal stitch, and I have a video tutorial, so people can get information on that there. So another example there, that a more updated one for me, as far as I haven't done a sweater in a while, I don't think, but I wanted to show you a sweater pattern. So we'll be looking at these further in our lessons, but said day 1, I didn't want to do too long, and we're going to dive in tomorrow to pattern anatomy and what it all means, and look more closely at the notes and stuff like that before we dive into abbreviations and punctuation and the instructions and finishing. Okay, so stick with me and you'll be reading patterns in no time. All right, that's it for lesson 1, but lesson 2 has a lot of great information and it's going to be coming out in the next video, so keep your eye out for that. And while you're there, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.